Hey, good afternoon, everybody. So, very common problem is leaky coffee makers. Wake up in the morning, you go to get your coffee, and you notice a puddle of water under your coffee maker. Coffee makers last about a year or so, but there's a way to extend their life if you just want to take a look inside. Usually it's a loose water pipe or something, and you can fix this very easily yourself. So here's an example of our coffee maker. It's a Ninja brand, by the way. I don't have anything to do with Ninja brands, but I really do like their products very much. The Ninja, the Foodie, and the Shark vacuum cleaners are excellent. So this one just had a little water leak recently. So I'm gonna open up the bottom and take a look and see what's going on. So if you look at the bottom, there's a couple little screw holes here that you can take out. And the biggest trick is having the right tool. You need to take out these very small screws, and they have a star-shaped pattern, but they're also security screws. You need a special bit, I'm going to show you right here, that has not only a star shape, but has this little hole in it to get in there. And the one that I'm going to use is the number 10 bit. Now I've already taken the screws out, but if you have the number 10 bit, you come in here, you take these out, very easy, turn it over. There's a couple little tabs right here that you're just going to push on or pry with a screwdriver. And with a little pop, you can get the bottom off. Pretty easy. Now what I've already noticed is that this is probably the cause of my leak. You can see that the little spring bracket that's holding this tube on is calcified. It's a little rusted. This has probably been leaking slowly inside for a little while, and the leak grew and developed. So piece of cake. I looked around to see if there's any other problems. It looks good. We just loosen this up, pull this pipe loose. We're going to clean this all up really good, and then we're going to reattach it and see what happens. Now, one more little point about this tube, I've removed the tube from both sides, is that there's a little one-way valve, ball valve in here, and if you work this little pipe, you can take this little one-way ball valve out, and that'll help you to clean this up real good. You can even replace this tubing if you like, and before reinstalling, you're just going to push that back in, okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of a cloth, a little bit of vinegar, maybe a little sandpaper. We're going to clean this calcification off before we put everything back together. So a good way to clean that off might just be to take a little bit of sandpaper and just kind of gently rub some of that calcification off. You can see it coming right off. Another thing to do might be to take a little bit of vinegar and an old toothbrush and just kind of gently get in there, and the vinegar will dissolve that calcification very, very quickly. Kind of work it. Doesn't have to be too wet. Take a little bit of clean water, just kind of wipe that down. Okay, so now we're going to put it back together. I cleaned that off really nice. And we're going to make sure that our tube is reaching. We push this on, and we may have to give it a little extra push because we need to make sure that one-way valve is seated up there. And we're nice and tight, snug here. And then if you notice, I'm not going to use the original clip. I could use the original clip, but I'm going to do something better. I'm just going to use a generic zip tie. And we're going to feed that around. sure that that's right in the middle and give that about as hard of a pull as I can. Really cinch it up good. And then take yourself a pair of clippers like these. Clip the end off. Hopefully that will not block the bottom. We're going to put the bottom back on. I'm going to try it out. So we got our zip tie in place, and make sure you push that end on really good. Give those little ears a squeeze. Push the silicone tube back on there and release the clip. If you're really good, you could put another zip tie back in there, but it's a little bit tight for my hands, so I'm going to go with this and give it a try. All right, so we filled the reservoir with water, and just as a test, I put a dry paper towel underneath the coffee maker, so if anything drips, we plugged it in, press the brew button, and give it a couple of minutes, and we'll see what happens. All right, so we're running the water through. As you can see, it's almost done, and I'm going to lift it up a little bit gently here to finish this video, and you can see there's no leaks. So problem solved. Once again, one zip tie to fix the most common problem, the leaky coffee maker. Save you about $65 to $70 for this particular model in the store and get another year's use out of it. So hope you have luck with yours. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Dan, and remember, if I can do it, you can do it.